Good evening and a very warm welcome to your news package with Television Tonga. Making headlines, a father of three died in a road accident. Tonga Police continue its tripartite program with the Australian Federal Police and New Zealand Police, and Parliament to be closed next week with no confirmations of the official date. These and more stories later on in this bulletin, together with the latest from around the region, sports and weather. I'm Fatai Whenga with the news for tonight. A father of three died from a road accident last Friday. The deceased is Maketi Mafi of Nukunuku. Meanwhile, police have charged Paula Leong Nute of Nukunuku and accused of manslaughter in regards of the accident. Mr. Nute appeared at the Magistrate Court this morning and released on bail to reappear in court on November 25th. This is to provide enough time for the prosecutor to prepare the document about the case. It is alleged that the deceased fell off from a truck while taking a turn at one of the intersection in Mawhanga. Lucky News, the counsel for the accused. The Legislative Assembly is expected to close next week. The chairman of the Whole House Committee announced this during the deliberations this morning. Meanwhile, a date is yet to be confirmed for the official close of Parliament. However, the Office of the Speaker of Parliament has revealed they will confirm this tomorrow. Parliament today has approved for the Education Bill 2013. This relates to changes in the Ministry of Education and Training after many years of operation. Some major changes from amending the Education Act includes the removal of the Department of Women and Culture from the ministry. Parliamentarians continued deliberations on the police report for 2012. The president of Tonga College Ex-Students Association, His Serene Highness Prince Tungi, was present as the guest of honour at the ex-students' combined prayer service yesterday. The service was held at Prince Tungi's estate of Taramotonga. Whanonga Veikosa with that story.
This is part of the ex-students' preparation for their trip to Australia to take part in the school's 131st anniversary celebrations. This year's celebrations are hosted by the Australian chapter. After the combined prayer service, His Serene Highness and the rest of the ex-students attended a special luncheon program hosted by the people of Prince Tungi in the Taramotonga. The Vice President of the Tonga College Ex-Student Association, Potele Tuhalamaka, says programs are lined up for the school day. The Vice Secretary of the Ex-Students Association, Komputa Malolo, says how happy they were with the hospitality of Tungi's estate. Meanwhile, the office of the Tonga College Ex-Students Association has confirmed with Radio Tonga News that around 130 ex-students are expected to travel from Tonga for the school's anniversary. We were warmly welcomed by the people of the estate holder of Tungi. We were overwhelmed by their greetings and feast was also prepared. Prince Tungi was present, also Lady Alaileula, Honourable Salote Maumataimi and Honourable Etani Tukuaho. His Serene Highness Prince Tungi will lead Tonga's chapter with some of the ex-students. For Television Tonga News, I'm Whanonga Veikosa.
Work needs to be done towards some documents that needs to be translated from Chinese to Tongan before the trial of 5 accused proceeds at the Magistrate Court. This is in regards of 3 Asian and 2 Tongans that were arrested and charged for holding an Asian man and his son hostage during a business meeting that was arranged in a residential home in Umusi last month. The Asians' legal counsel, Lucky News, revealed this in court this morning during a recommendation to postpone the trial. Kalisi Tuanuku was there and filed this report.
The 5 accused, Chen Jining from Haveluloto, Ruishong Ma from Patangata, Tifeng Mo from Anana, Manalatu from Patangata, and Sioningahe from Phuket. They were charged for unlawful imprisonment, abetting to commit unlawful imprisonment, and armed robbery. Chen Jining was also charged for an additional count of causing bodily harm. The family of the victim were told to pay more than 400,000 pa'anga for their release. However, 750,000 pa'anga were paid in cash and was not recovered to date. The remaining amount of 325,000 pa'anga, total of 2 other checks arrested from with some of the accused and were returned to the complainant. Manukau Fusi was the counsel for the 2 Tongan, while the accused bail has been extended until they appear in court.
Tonga Police extend their memorandum of agreement with the Australian Federal Police and New Zealand Police for another 3 years. The Honourable Minister of Police, Prison and Fire Services and Inland Revenue, Honourable Sasifatu Tafaiva, and the Australian High Commissioner, His Excellency Brett Eldam, and New Zealand High Commissioner, His Excellency Mark Talbot, signed the tripartite agreement last week. Linda Filiai takes up that story.
The agreement focuses on leadership development and efficient policing services to ensure public trust and confidence on the police officers. Speaking to Radio and Television Tonga News, the Police Commissioner Crowd Office says, without the assistance of its developing partners, the ministry cannot stand alone to ensure development.
Yeah, it's a very important part of our reform program for the police. In fact, it's vital to it. And it's an agreement between the Government of Tonga and the Australian Federal Police and the New Zealand Police to assist us in the reform of the Tongan Police, and a lot of that has to do with our buildings and our infrastructure, obviously, that we need to develop, but increasingly that...
He also spoke more of the donation made by the two donors.
Well, it's very generously funded by the Australian and New Zealand governments to just over $2 million each. So, I mean, that's a lot of money, obviously, and it enables us to build... Well, we're just completing the police station at Mua now, and in fact, today we will...
However, part of their partnership is providing training for police officers in the field of investigation, computer skills, first aid, and others. The initial agreement for the cooperation between Tonga Police, Australian Federal Police, and New Zealand Police was signed in July 2008. For Television Tonga News, I'm Linda Filiai.
Two women from Tonga has been presented the Golden Women Champion Awards of the Secretariat of the Pacific Communities Education Training Centre, or CETC, last Thursday in Suva. They were chosen from Tonga's ex-student. The centre is under the Secretariat of the Pacific Communities. Sinlato reports.
The Golden Women Champion Awards was presented to Akosita Huahulu Ha'unga and Vaupuni Matangilangi by the First Lady of Fiji, Aunty Koila Nailatikau. In an interview with Radio and Television Tonga News, Huahulu Ha'unga shared the purpose of the CETC training programs, which they succeeded in being nominated to the award. The whole idea is to be able to help the women produce from pieces of leftover tapas and other local material, such as jewels and others, anything that they can produce to sell. I was not aware that what I had produced claimed first prize, but what I did was to do the best and God will do the rest. Ms. Ha'unga says receiving the award motivates her and her colleague, Vaulangi, to continue developing the community. Receiving the award is a motivational tool for me to continue doing what I do. We actually attended a workshop that taught us things in relates to recycling of plastic waste, such as noodle and cracker packs. We can then train women groups here in Tonga and even the primary school children. We were happy to attend this training and pick up those new skills. 10 other CETC ex-students from other Pacific islands received the same award. While they were in Fiji for the awarding ceremony, they also attended CETC's end-of-year graduation this year. The institution has also marked the end of its journey under the helm of SPC and will next year operate under the University of the South Pacific. There are 1,700 CETC ex-students from 20 Pacific Island country members of SPC. For Television Tonga News, I'm Sinilato.
The Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, Fisheries and Food are striving to promote and educate local farmers in rural communities the proper way of farming, especially dealing with watermelons. This initiates a national training for local farmers and includes inmates at the Huatoitoli prison.
The program is organized by the Ministry of Agriculture. In an interview with Television Tonga News, Devita Tokung of the ministry says workshop is underway at Huatoitoli prison. This is to improve their knowledge on farming. I believe that most farmers have misused chemicals for farming. However, we carry out this program to reach out the message. Meanwhile, the Cadet Chief Prisons Officer Petelo Basoni says it is about time to upgrade the inmates' farming skills. We are grateful of this opportunity, especially with the right methods of farming watermelons. I hope that once that they were discharged, they can make use of what they learn. Once the training completes at Huatolitoli Prison, the team from the Ministry of Agriculture will continue on to the Eastern District. This is funded by the Food and Agriculture Organization, or FAO.
Tonga Institute of Education has ended a one-week program aiming at strengthening and upgrading the four main skills and tasks of a teacher. These skills include knowledge, professionalism, talking methods, and wisdom. Whanua also takes up that story.
The theme for this week's special program conducted at the Tonga Institute of Education is A Great Teacher for Tonga. Speaking to Radio and Television Tonga News, a member of the magazine committee, Sela Motumanu, says, becoming a teacher is not an easy job because everyone needs to be dedicated and well prepared for this field. Clarifying the students the four main skills in becoming a great teacher is vital. At present, we are trained here to become a good teacher one day. The job is not easy, but we are hopeful for a successful result. Meanwhile, one of the councillor, Paehelo Tuleka, explains more about the program. We believe that this is the main purpose of conducting such program in order to achieve these four basic skills. Part of the one-week program includes showcasing the traditional Tongan outfit, poetry and musical competition, and also the Tongan traditional dances. The program ended with a socialized sports day held at Atele Indoor Stadium.
The average rates for the rise and reduction of the petroleum prices for October and November is recorded at around 50 seniti rather. This was confirmed in a statement from the competent authority of the Ministry of Commerce, Tourism and Labour. The new petroleum price recorded with the highest drop of 50 seniti in the price of kerosene. The newest rates now stand at 2 pa'anga and 34 seniti. For the older petroleum prices, the newest rates for diesel are 2 pa'anga and 94 seniti. For the petrol is 2 pa'anga and 83 seniti. This was confirmed in a statement from Tonga's competent authority from the Ministry of Commerce, Tourism and Labour. Information also stated that one of the major factors for the changing petroleum rates includes the slight appreciation of the Tongan pa'anga in the overseas market, which led to the reduction of the price of kerosene. Meanwhile, 10% increase in the freight rates in August also led to the rise in prices of diesel and petroleum. And that's the local news. Pacific is up next.